The room was cold and filled with a strange blue light. Alien officers stood in a circle looking down at the human sitting in chains. He was thin, dirty, and injured. Blood dried on his face. One of the aliens laughed. "This is a human? This is what the death world produces?" The others joined in the laughter. The human said nothing. He just looked up, weakly, and smiled. They had captured him during a scouting mission near the edge of the Sol system. The aliens thought Earth would be an easy target, an undeveloped, dangerous planet where survival was already hard. If the planet itself was so deadly, they believed the people would be weak, struggling, and disorganized. That's what the Galactic Union believed. And now, seeing this fragile man, they felt sure of it. The alien commander, a tall insectoid creature named Krezek, stood closest. "You are lucky," he said in a cold voice. "We will not kill you. We want to study you. Learn why your planet is so strange." The human didn't respond. He just kept smiling. That smile made Krezek uncomfortable, though he didn't show it. It wasn't a smile of fear or defeat. It was a quiet, knowing smile, like someone who had seen monsters before and knew how to deal with them. Back on the alien command ship, reports from Earth were coming in. Recon teams had landed on forests, deserts, and cities. There were no strong armies, no advanced defenses. Most of Earth's technology was basic compared to galactic standards. "They're not ready for us," one alien soldier said in a transmission. "We should take over now before they can prepare." But something felt wrong. Too easy. Too quiet. One scout ship that entered Earth's jungle zone sent back a final message. "Strange movement in the trees. Something's watching us." Then, silence. No signal. No crew returned. The alien leaders ignored it. "Probably just wild animals," they said. They didn't understand Earth. They didn't understand humans. The human in chains was taken to a lab. Machines scanned his body. He had several broken bones. His heart rate was calm. His eyes followed every movement in the room. "He should be afraid," one alien scientist whispered. "Why isn't he afraid?" The answer came a few hours later. The ship shook. Alarms blared. Something had gone wrong. The human smiled again. He stood up. His chains hung loose. The guards were down. Blood on the floor. Not his. Krezek rushed to the lab. The human was gone. Security footage showed him slipping through air vents, disabling lights, using alien tools like he'd seen them 1,000 times. He had been watching, learning all along. Weak? Maybe, but clever. Quiet. Dangerous. Back on Earth, strange things were happening. Alien patrols began disappearing. Their weapons stopped working in certain areas. Roads collapsed beneath tanks. Wildlife attacked only alien soldiers, never humans. "They're fighting the planet itself," one officer said, nervous. But it wasn't the planet. It was the people. The humans had gone silent. No mass communication, no global defense warning. Just silence. Like they had vanished. But the truth was they were watching, studying, preparing. Every forest, every city corner, every mountain path. They knew them better than anyone ever could. They had grown up in storms, in wild lands with volcanoes, floods, and creatures far more terrifying than any alien soldier. Aliens started calling Earth the planet that watches. It felt like something was always looking back. One alien scientist tried to explain. Humans evolved in chaos. Their planet never gave them peace, so they learned to adapt, to survive, to fight without rules. You can't understand it unless you've lived it. But no one listened. Inside the stolen alien ship, the escaped human sent a message. Short, simple. "You came to conquer us when we were unready. That was your first mistake." Krezek saw the message. He felt a cold fear deep in his chest. "How did he get into the system?" he shouted. Another officer turned, pale. "He's not just in the system. He's flying the ship." The stolen ship turned toward Earth, its weapons powered up. Alien forces tried to stop it, but it slipped past their defenses. Fast, silent. On the surface, humans began to rise. In forests, soldiers painted with mud and leaves came out from underground shelters. In cities, engineers hacked into alien tech. In mountains, sharpshooters took positions. They were no longer running. They were waiting. The war hadn't started yet. The invasion hadn't failed yet. But a quiet storm had begun to rise. The galaxy had seen humans at their weakest. And now they would see what Deathworlders really were. The data came in slowly at first. Small files, planetary scans, biological readings. One by one, the alien analysts opened them, not expecting much. They thought Earth would be like any other new planet. Wild, simple, maybe a bit dangerous. But the more they read, the more silent the room became. The lead analyst, a four-eyed creature named Veltor, held up a file. This can't be real, he said. The others gathered around. The file showed weather patterns from Earth, hurricanes the size of continents, earthquakes that split cities, volcanoes that could block out the sun, lightning storms that lasted for hours, sometimes days. "And they live in this?" another alien whispered. More files followed. Predator analysis. Bears, wolves, sharks, snakes, giant cats, venomous insects. Disease records, viruses that melted lungs, bacteria that ate skin, plagues that wiped out millions. And humans had survived them all. Veltor opened the next file. This is their gravity level, higher than ours. And the air, full of microscopic threats. Their own water can kill them if it's unclean. Their plants, some are toxic. Their animals, unpredictable. The aliens looked at each other. Something was wrong. This planet, it shouldn't exist like this. Life shouldn't survive here. And yet, not only did humans live, they built massive cities, sent satellites into space, created weapons, machines, and even reached the moon. How? How did a species from a death trap like Earth make it this far? One young alien scientist whispered, "This planet doesn't raise people, it forges weapons." Still, the high command didn't believe the danger. They called the reports overreactions. They had already sent a small fleet to prepare Earth for soft control. Occupation without Totalvar. "We will land in 5 key locations," said Commander Krizik. "We will show strength. They will surrender." But the first scout ship was still missing. No signal. No return. A second was sent. It returned damaged, with half the crew dead. Survivors said nothing, only stared into space. One of them kept repeating the same sentence. "The trees have eyes." On Earth, people had gone quiet. No global broadcasts, no panic. But here and there, strange videos appeared. Blurry clips of alien patrols being watched from the dark. A single figure standing still in the rain, looking up at an alien drone, then vanishing. Krizik grew angry. "They are weak, dirty, primitive. They can't beat us." But deep down, even he began to feel something strange. Fear, not of the humans, but of the planet itself. The more they tried to scan Earth, the more systems started to fail. One satellite exploded from an energy surge. Another was hacked. "How can they do this?" a technician asked. "Their tech is centuries behind." But it didn't matter. The humans were adapting, learning, copying alien tools, turning them into traps. One alien ship flew over a rainforest. Suddenly, massive birds slammed into it from all sides, breaking its wings. It crashed in the jungle. No bodies were ever found, only claw marks and human footprints. The galactic media began asking questions. Is Earth really a death world? Why did the Union lie about the risk? What happened to the scout teams? Veltor finally said it aloud during a meeting. This planet should not have intelligent life. But somehow humans not only survived, they became hunters. And now they're being hunted again. That makes them angry. Still, the High Command pushed forward. They sent more ships, larger teams, heavier weapons. They believed numbers would win on the ground. Humans watched, quiet, focused. They didn't panic. They didn't scream. They disappeared into forests, cities, mountains. They set traps. They spread whispers. They used old ways, animal calls, smoke signals, hidden tunnels. This was not new to them. Earth had always been cruel. Now it was just cruel with aliens. In a hidden bunker deep in the mountains, a human commander stood before a small group. They think Earth is just a rock, he said. But Earth is alive. It teaches us every day, teaches us to fight, teaches us to wait, and now it teaches them. He raised a map. It showed the alien landing zones. Red marks surrounded them. Ambush points. Sniper nests. Mines. They wanted Earth, he said. Now they'll learn what Earth is. In orbit, Krezek received one more report. A scientist had decoded an Earth transmission. It was short. A warning maybe, or a threat. The message was only 5 words. Welcome to the food chain. The alien commander stood on the balcony of his flagship, watching Earth spin slowly below. Bright green continents, deep blue oceans, and clouds hiding the surface like secrets. Commander Krezek laughed. A beautiful planet, but weak, soft. Their time is over. Inside the control room, officers prepared the first official invasion. It was a test, they said. A small force sent to take over one of Earth's quiet zones. A remote outpost with no strong defenses. The aliens wanted to show power, not start a full war. Once they see our ships and weapons, Krezek said, they'll give up. They'll know it's useless to resist. 10 dropships were launched. Inside them were elite alien soldiers, trained across galaxies, armed with advanced gear. As they entered Earth's atmosphere, they joked about humans. Do they even know how to fight? One laughed. This won't take a day. They landed in a mountain region, near an old research facility. No signs of resistance, no people. Just trees, snow, silence. We take the building, scan for tech, and leave, the alien team leader ordered. Stay alert. They moved through the snow, slow and careful. The air was thin and cold. One of them adjusted his mask. How do humans even breathe here? He muttered. Inside the abandoned building, lights flickered. The rooms were dusty. Broken computers, empty chairs, no heat. But something felt off. Too clean, too untouched, no signs of struggle. Then the door slammed shut. Alarms in the ship above started to beep. Commander, an officer called out. We lost signal from the ground team. Static filled the speakers. Krezek frowned. Send drones. 1 hour passed. The drones showed nothing. No movement, just snow and silence. Then, one camera caught something. A body. An alien soldier half buried in snow. Face frozen in fear. Another body appeared in the next frame. And another. All dead. But no signs of attack. No gunshots. No burns. Just gone. Then came the message. A voice, human. Male, it spoke only once. They're not your prey. You are. Back on the ground, a new team was sent. This time with heavier weapons and more troops. They moved in quickly, burning the forest as they went. Scare them out, the new team leader said. But the forest didn't burn. The fire went out faster than expected. The trees were damp. Strange winds pushed smoke back toward the soldiers. Vision dropped. The team got separated. That's when the traps began. Spikes hidden under snow. Wires stretched between trees. Explosives made from human tech mixed with stolen alien parts. One by one, the aliens fell. Screams echoed in the fog. Then silence. In the control ship, panic grew. They were ready for us, one officer said. They planned this. Krezek slammed the console. They're just animals with tools, he shouted, but his voice shook. Back on Earth, the humans were watching. In a hidden cave nearby, a small group of survivors had prepared for months. A soldier, a scientist, and a mechanic. 3 people who had seen the first alien scout ships months ago. They had built traps. They had studied alien weapons. They had learned. The soldier, Jackson, cleaned his rifle slowly. They thought we'd run, he said. They thought we'd beg. The scientist, Dr. Lin, checked the sensors. They don't understand what Earth is, she replied. They don't understand what we are. The mechanic, Mateo, smiled. But they will. That night the humans moved again, quiet as shadows. They didn't fight head-on. They didn't show themselves. They let the aliens grow tired, cold, nervous. Then they attacked, fast, brutal, vanishing just as quickly. Single alien soldier survived and made it back to the landing ship, his eyes wide, his hands shaking. He spoke only one sentence. They're not running. They're hunting us. Krezek finally saw the truth. This wasn't a simple invasion. This wasn't even a war. It was a mistake. A terrible, first mistake. He looked at the Earth again. We thought they were weak, he said softly. But we woke something ancient. Something wild. The message spread through the fleet. Morale dropped. Soldiers whispered stories about Deathworlders. Some began to question the mission. Some wanted to leave. But it was too late. Earth had seen the enemy. Earth had learned. Now the humans were moving, deep beneath the forests of Earth, in an old military bunker long thought abandoned. Something ancient was waking. Dust fell from the ceiling as quiet footsteps echoed through the dark halls. The lights flickered. A small group of humans stood around a dusty console. They were dirty, tired, and worn, but their eyes were sharp, focused, alive. Jackson, the soldier, wiped sweat from his brow. This place was built during the last World War, he said. A fallback shelter. No one was supposed to find it. But we found it, Dr. Lin replied, powering up the console. And now, we use it. They weren't alone. Across Earth, hundreds of humans just like them, soldiers, hackers, mechanics, farmers, even children had gone into hiding. Not out of fear, but out of strategy. Waiting, watching, learning, and acting. Aliens thought Earth was a mess. Billions of people, many languages, different governments. They believed humans couldn't work together, but they didn't know the truth. When Earth is in danger, humans change. Enemies become allies. Rivals become brothers. Because humans don't need to be told how to fight for survival. It's in their blood. Across the sky, alien ships moved like dark clouds. Thousands of soldiers marched through cities, forests, and deserts. They searched. They scanned. They found empty buildings, burnt-out vehicles, strange symbols painted on walls, but no people. The cities were too quiet, the lands too still. Commander Krezek felt it too. "Where are they?" he demanded. The reports didn't help. One patrol vanished near the ruins of New York. Another squad lost near the Andes Mountains. A supply ship never returned from the Sahara region. Krezek slammed his fist on the table. They are ghosts, shadows. But Earth had simply adapted. Humans had melted into their own land, becoming part of the terrain. In the jungles, they moved like whispers. In the cities, they became the wind. No open battle. No wasted bullets. Every strike was fast, planned, and final, and the aliens had made their second mistake. They had landed in places they didn't understand. Forests full of poisonous plants. Mountains where sound bounced in strange ways. Swamps that swallowed machines. Snowfields where heat signatures vanished. Earth itself was a weapon, and the humans were its masters. Back in orbit, alien soldiers began refusing orders. Fear spread. Whispers of the word Deathworld grew louder. The humans are too quiet, some said. We thought they were primitive, but they are hunters. They see everything. They wait for the right moment, and when they strike, no one survives. In a dark room aboard the main ship, Krezek stood alone, watching old footage from the first human contact. He saw a child staring up at a scout drone, not afraid. He saw an old woman calmly planting seeds as ships flew above her, and he saw the same strange smile, over and over again. Quiet, calm, knowing. These are not the weaklings we expected, he said to himself. Meanwhile, something stirred in space. Old satellites humans had left behind suddenly came back online. Ancient machines, once useless, now reactivated. A secret network, hidden under Earth's skin, began to glow. Humans had never been truly alone. Decades ago they had prepared. Some governments built hidden bunkers. Some created secret satellites. Others trained small teams to hide in plain sight. The public never knew, but the warnings were always there. Strange signals, old myths, whispers of what if. Now, all of it was waking up. At the hidden bunker, Dr. Lin typed fast on the console. They think we're reacting, but we planned this long ago. Mateo, the mechanic, laughed. You mean they walked straight into the trap? Jackson loaded his weapon and smiled. And we're just getting started. That night, across the Earth, the humans struck back. One by one, alien supply lines vanished. Weapon systems shut down. Power grids collapsed. Drones turned on their masters. Human engineers had learned to hack alien tech. Teenagers with old laptops rewrote alien code. Farmers turned farming drones into bombs. In space, one of the alien ships lost control. Lights flickered, then went black. A signal played across all frequencies. Human voices, different languages, different accents, speaking one sentence in unity. This is our world. You were never invited. Commander Krezek stared in shock. The invasion was no longer an operation. It was survival. It started with silence. Alien radios went quiet. Patrols stopped reporting. Security feeds turned black. At first, the command ships thought it was a glitch, a simple error in the system. But deep down, they knew. Something had changed. The humans were no longer hiding. In the forests of Canada, entire squads vanished without a single shot fired. In the ruins of Tokyo, snipers picked off aliens one by one from impossible distances. In the deserts of Australia, explosives buried under sand tore vehicles apart like paper, and in the skies, human-built drones using stolen alien parts raced past their enemies, too fast to stop, too smart to catch. Commander Krezek stood frozen, staring at the growing list of missing units. How? He whispered. They don't have the numbers. They don't have the technology. But what humans had was something else. Experience. They had fought each other for thousands of years, learned every kind of war. They knew how to lose, how to suffer, how to bleed, and they knew how to adapt. Humans were not built in safety. They were forged in fire, shaped by chaos, and made strong by pain. Alien commanders tried new tactics, heavier weapons, bigger squads, more scans. Nothing worked. No matter what they did, the humans were always one step ahead. In South America, an alien base was surrounded overnight. Cameras showed nothing, just trees. Then, all at once, the lights went out. When reinforcements arrived, they found the base empty. No bodies, no weapons, just one message written on the wall in red. You're not hunting us. We're hunting you. The message spread fast. Across the alien fleet, fear took root. Soldiers began to disobey. Some refused to land. Others locked themselves inside their ships. Even the bravest among them started watching the shadows. In a cave hidden in the Alps, Jackson cleaned his weapon with care. Around him, a group of survivors prepared for their next mission. Some were ex-soldiers. Others were just farmers, engineers, and students. But all of them were warriors now. They came here thinking we were prey, Jackson said quietly. They looked at our cities, our people, our weakness, and thought we were broken. Dr. Lin nodded, checking the latest reports. But we've always been like this. We fall, we get back up, then we hit harder. Mateo adjusted a strange weapon, a mix of alien plasma tech and old Earth batteries. They gave us their toys, he said, smiling. Now we're teaching them how we play. In orbit, Krezek's advisors begged him to retreat. We're losing control, one said. We don't understand this enemy. Krezek shook his head. We can't retreat. We've come too far. But sir, another added, this is no longer an invasion. It's a war for survival. Even the planet itself seemed to fight back. Earth was not a peaceful world. Storms tore through drop zones. Earthquakes broke supply routes. Animals attacked without fear. The air, the water, even the plants, everything was hostile. And yet, humans thrived here. They had learned to use the chaos's cover. Alien soldiers saw traps made from stone and wire, bombs hidden in old toys, even poisoned food that looked freshly cooked. The humans didn't just want to win. They wanted the invaders to feel fear, and it was working. A soldier named Kex ran through a ruined city, gasping. His squad was gone. He didn't see what attacked them, just flashes in the dark, strange howls and shadows that moved too fast. He tripped, rolled, and looked up. A human stood there, dirty, calm, unblinking. Kex raised his weapon, but it was already too late. That was the new reality. The aliens had all the power, but power meant nothing on Earth. Not here, not now. Back in their command center, Jackson pointed at the map. Red zones marked destroyed alien outposts. They came with ships, he said. We'll send them back in pieces. Dr. Lin looked over her notes. They underestimated us. That was their first mistake. And their last, Mateo added. In orbit, panic took hold. Krezik's ships were under constant attack. Hackers had breached their systems. Satellites turned against them. Even their own tech refused to obey. One final message played across every alien screen. A human voice. Calm. Certain. You feared us at our weakest. Now you'll learn why we're called Deathworlders. The room went silent. Krezik turned to his officers, but no one spoke. Because deep down they all knew. The hunters had become the hunted, and Earth was just getting started. Smoke rose over the forests. Alien ships, once untouchable in the sky, now lay broken on the ground. Across the Yar world, the balance had shifted. The invaders were no longer in control. Earth had pushed back, and it had teeth. Commander Krezik stared at the holoscreen, shaking. His red eyes scanned the map. Every red dot was a base. Every red dot was now crossed out. Destroyed. Burned. Gone. How? He whispered. They were supposed to be weak. They are not weak, an officer said behind him, voice cold. They're something else. Something older. Something worse. In the ruins of a human city, near what was once Berlin, Jackson and his team stood over the remains of an alien supply truck. The parts were still warm. Flames crackled in the distance. A group of fighters, young, old, men, women, sorted the pieces. They didn't cheer. They didn't laugh. Their eyes were focused. They knew this wasn't over. They thought, this world was soft, Jackson said, loading his rifle. But they forgot one thing. What? Asked a young boy beside him, barely 16, holding a slingshot. Jackson glanced at the sky. We didn't survive this world by being weak. We became strong because it tried to kill us every day. In South Africa, a team of scientists activated a signal tower built decades ago. It had one job: call out to all human survivors. In minutes, thousands responded, from bunkers, from mountains, from hidden caves. Earth's people were connecting again, sharing knowledge, sharing weapons, sharing tactics. The world was no longer divided. Old enemies worked together. Borders didn't matter. Languages didn't matter. The only thing that mattered was this: Earth must be defended. Aliens began abandoning their posts. Some tried to hide in orbit. Others begged for orders that never came. The fear had spread like wildfire. The word Deathworlders was now spoken like a curse. In alien culture, Deathworlds were rare. Planets too harsh to colonize, too dangerous to study. And Earth? Earth wasn't just a Deathworld. It was the worst one ever encountered. Poisonous plants, extreme weather, earthquakes, volcanoes, giant predators, even diseases that killed in hours. And yet, humans lived. Humans thrived. And now, Humans fought back with the same wild force their planet had taught them. Dr. Lin watched from a satellite feed. "This isn't just about fighting," she said. "It's about survival. It's in our DNA. This planet made us harder, faster, smarter. We don't surrender. We evolve." Mateo grinned as he finished modifying another stolen alien weapon. And now they get to see what evolution looks like, human style. Back in space, several alien ships tried to leave Earth's orbit, but they didn't get far. Human-built missiles, launched from secret mountain bases, struck them mid-flight. Fire lit the night sky like a second sun. Krizik saw it from his command window. "We were supposed to conquer," he whispered. "We were supposed to rule." Now even his own officers wouldn't meet his eyes, because they all knew. This was no longer a war. This was revenge. Down on Earth, a new symbol appeared, painted on walls, scratched into metal, drawn into the ground with fire. It showed a planet with claws, rising into the stars. The sign of the Deathworlders. The jungles of Brazil, a child led 2 alien scouts into a trap. In the icy north, an old woman used snow to blind a squad before dropping them into a frozen lake. Across every land, the message was the same. No one is safe. No invader will leave, untouched. And still humans did not stop. They rebuilt faster than expected. Factories hidden deep underground roared back to life. New weapons were created daily. Technology stolen from the aliens was improved, upgraded, perfected. Earth was no longer just defending. It was preparing. They came to take our world, Jackson said to a group of fighters gathered under the stars. But they gave us something instead. What? Someone asked. The stars above Earth no longer belonged to the invaders. Their ships, once symbols of fear, were now floating wrecks. Smoke and fire filled the sky. One by one, their fleets were falling. Earth was not just surviving. It was winning. Commander. Krizik stood alone in the control room of his last command ship. The walls shook around him. Sparks rained from the ceiling. Alarms screamed in a language he no longer trusted. His officers were gone. His army was scattered. The great invasion was crumbling. He looked down at Earth, the blue and green world that had destroyed everything. They were supposed to beg, he whispered. They were supposed to kneel. But Earth had never knelt. On the planet's surface, Jackson led the final push. He moved through the wreckage of a fallen alien fortress, his boots crunching over broken metal and scorched ground. Behind him marched hundreds of fighters, tired, bloody, but full of fire. "All units in position," a voice said through his earpiece. "On your command." Jackson paused, watching the last alien ship preparing to escape. "Let them see what happens when you mess with a death world," he gave the order. From hidden hills, missiles fired. From old satellites, beams of stolen alien energy lit up the sky. The ship didn't even make it halfway out of the atmosphere. It exploded in a storm of red and silver, a firework for the whole planet to see. Cheers echoed across mountains, deserts, cities, and oceans. But Jackson didn't smile. Not yet. He knew it wasn't over. In the ruins of a command center, Dr. Lin sat beside a screen, watching the last alien distress signal. The voice was cracked, broken, full of panic. "To all who hear us, stay away from the blue planet. It is cursed. It is death." She turned off the signal. "Let them be afraid," she said. For the first time in history, Earth had a voice in the stars. Not a weak one. Not a begging one. A warning. Deathworlders live here. Mateo stood beside a new machine, part human, part alien, built in the ashes of the old world. "We were always looking for a reason to go up," he said. "Now we have one." They were building ships now, not just to defend, but to explore, to chase, to hunt if needed. Earth was no longer the last line of defense. It was the first line of offense. In hidden labs, scientists studied alien tech. Students learned how to fly. Mechanics built faster engines, stronger shields. Humanity had been forced to wake up, and now it would never sleep again. The galaxy had looked down on Earth, had called its people weak, dirty, primitive. But now, stories were spreading, of humans who fought with fire in their eyes, of a world that bit back harder than anything ever seen, of a species that turned pain into power. On distant planets, leaders argued. Should they fear Earth? Should they fight it? Or should they stay far, far away? But it was too late. Humans had already left the planet. Jackson stood at the edge of a launch platform staring at the stars. A ship stood behind him, engines warm, ready to go. It had no weapons, it didn't need any. It carried a message. "We're not here to conquer," he said. "We're here to show them who we really are." Dr. Lin stepped beside him. "And if they try again?" Jackson smiled. "Then they'll remember why we're called Deathworlders." The ship rose, flames roaring beneath it. All of Earth watched. For the first time, humans were not running, hiding, or defending. They were reaching, not just for revenge, but for something greater: hope. Behind them, the world was no longer broken. Cities were rebuilding, families were returning, flags from every nation flew side by side. Earth had bled, but it had survived, and in that survival it had become something more, something unstoppable, something legendary.